When I was young, as a child growing up, my safety net got pulled from under me. Yeah, so I lost my parents early in life as a child, and I had to grow up quickly. I had to neglect, or should I say, ignore the perfect childhood dreams that I built for myself or that I envisioned, right? And it dawned on me that I had to start working immediately because I'm that kind of person that kind of have a lot of expectations, but I don't place that expectations on people. I place that expectations on me, which means all of my needs, all of the things I wanted have to come from me. So I started at 95 as early as 15-ish, right? So now that I'm 28, going to 29, I've looked back at the lessons that I've learned, you know, being an orphan. I hate using that word, but it is what it is. Battling depression at some point in my life, doing a 9 to 5 as long as I can remember, and restarting my journey as a content creator. This journey has been beautiful. It has been hard. It has been filled with a lot of ups and downs. The roller coaster of emotions has been intense. But will I say that it hasn't been worth it? And I feel like the lessons has been worth it. The lessons that I've learned over the years have shaped who I am today, and I am forever grateful for everything that has happened, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. So this video is not your usual motivational fluff, right? It is my 28 years of experience, 28 years of wisdom, 28 years that I've learned life lessons first and from life itself, summarized into 28 simple lessons that I would also love to share with you. And I trust that you would learn one or two things from my story and not repeat it. So this video is for those that are still struggling to gain their foothold in life, or that are struggling to align with their dreams, or those that had to grow up so fast in life. Yeah, this video is for you. So the first lesson that I've learned so far in my journey of life is money is a tool, not a measure of worth. Trust me, over the years, I've been that girl that is always very ambitious. I'm still ambitious anyway, but I've let my desires for material things drive me so much in life that I made mistakes that I wasn't meant to make because of the fact I felt like money is everything, right? But in this my stage of life, I've realized that money is just a tool. It's not your measure of worth. It is just a tool that makes you open to having more options in life, right? So I feel prioritizing your options, prioritizing your source of happiness and fulfillment is going to make you not make some of the mistakes that I made. All right. So moving on to the second lesson that I've learned over time. Second lesson that I've learned over time is busy. Being busy is not the same thing as being productive. Trust me, you need to learn this early in life so you don't end up burning yourself out. Being productive is not the same as being busy. You can be busy and not productive, but being productive is the best of them all right. So the third lesson that I've learned over time in my journey of life is that your work ethics is your best safety net. It is something that nobody can take from you, all right? And it is something that is going to also pave the way for you when you decide to start your own brand, start your own business. Your work ethics is part of your branding, it's part of your identity, and it is something you should pay intense cognizance to, right? So the fourth lesson that I've learned over time in my 28 years of life is pay yourself first. Learn to save 10% of every of your income. Trust me, this might sound like a cliche, but it is very important that you pay yourself first. Save this 10% daily for your future self. And trust me, your future self will be grateful for this. I just wish I knew this early on in life, and it would have saved me a lot of heartaches and a lot of headaches and a lot of silly mistakes that I made before now. All right. So try as much as you can to save 10% of your income for your future self instead of always wanting to give out your money or use your money to buy things that are not going to benefit you in any way. The fifth lesson that I've learned so far is trust your guts, trust your systems over your boss. Trust me when I say this, your inner voice knows the truth about the job. Your inner voice knows the truth about the situation. Your inner voice knows the truth about that decision you are trying to make. So you don't want to ignore your sixth sense. You don't want to ignore your gut. Trust it, all right? So you don't end up making the mistake and coming back to actually do what your sister told you to do. At that point, you'll be crying that I know. You don't want to be there. The next lesson that I've learned so far in my journey of life is that the hardest part of any job is usually managing the people, not the job itself. People management is a great skill that will take you far in life if you learn it early on. Trust me on this. Being an introvert, it took me a while to adjust to all of this, but there is nothing like introversion when it comes to the business world. You must learn how to relate with people. You must learn how to manage people. You must learn how to work in a team, whether you are an introvert or not. Next lesson that I've learned over time in my journey of life is never stop learning one new skill daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Just ensure that you are learning something new as you go. Don't be stagnant. Don't be stuck in a particular place because it is going to be your safety net when the need arises. And trust me, the need will eventually arise. You need to ensure that you are evolving because the world is evolving. Things are changing, new things are coming in, and you need to be catching up always. Because if you don't catch up, you'll be left behind. And those that are up to standard with the syllabus of what is going on in our world today, they will be the one that people will be on the lookout for. You can't afford to be stagnant. You can't afford not to grow. Ensure that you learn one new skill weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever you want to do, but ensure that you are learning, ensure that you're growing, ensure that you are not satisfied with the you that you are right now. Trust me, you don't want to learn this through experience. All right. The next lesson that I've learned towards in my journey of life is that depression isn't sadness. Depression is numbness. All right. I have a video where I shared my depression story, so you can just go back, check my channel, or I'm going to leave the link right here. Right. It is one of the worst moments of my life because at that moment you're feeling nothing, and I didn't realize this early on, and it took a toll on me. It got worse before I actually got back to pinch myself to reality and realize that I needed help, right? So that moment that you're not feeling anything, that you're feeling nothing, it is an alarm bell that you need to check yourself. It is an alarm bell that something is going on with yourself that you need to check before it becomes worse. All right. That is what I can say for this. But if you need a full video of how I battled depression, I'll leave the link right here. So please go on and check it. You could learn one or two things from that video. So moving on to the next lesson. The next lesson that I've learned so far in my journey of life is crying is productive. Crying isn't weakness. Crying actually means that you're strong enough to acknowledge the fact that you need to cry. All right. Crying is a proof to acknowledge the fact that okay, you're weak or you're going through this and you need to let it out. It is strength. All right. Don't let anyone shame you for the fact that you're crying. All right. This act of crying is your body's cleaning out and it is much more needed. All right. So don't stop it. Don't stop yourself. When you want to cry, cry. When you need to cry, cry. All right. Because over the years, looking back, that is in retrospect, I realized that I suppressed my emotions majority of the time. And when this became too much and it exploded, it was something I couldn't handle, right? I had to look for like external help and the rest of them. So try as much as you can not to suppress any of your emotions. When you're feeling the need to cry, cry. When you're feeling the need to shout, shout. When you're feeling the need to talk to someone, talk to someone, please, all right? Make things very easy and smoother for yourself so you don't isolate yourself to death. All right, so moving on to the next lesson. The next lesson that I've learned so far in my journey of life is that asking for help is the strongest, the boldest thing you can ever do for yourself. It is not a crime. It is not a sin to ask for help. You don't know everything. You don't know it all. This was one of my biggest weakness and it dealt me an heavy blow. Because I usually feel like I don't want to disturb anybody. Everybody have their own things that are going through and I don't want to talk to anybody about it. They won't understand. Meanwhile, I have friends that genuinely cared about me, that want to know what is going on with me. Because it is okay for you to walk up to your friend, for you to tell your friend that you are not okay. It is okay to confide in people. It is okay to tell people what you're going through. It is okay to let people listen to you and provide solutions or help in any way they can. It is okay to air your opinion. It is okay to talk. It is okay not to be okay. All right? So the next thing that I've learned so far in my 28 years of life is the smallest victory counts. Yes, celebrate your small wins. There is nothing as small win. The fact that you can get up from bed today is a big win. The fact that you can take a walk is a big win. The fact that you can clock into what you're meant to do is a big win. The fact that you can breathe is a big win. The fact that you can eat is a big win. The fact that you have a shelter over your head is a big win. Trust me, clock them all in. They all matter. All right, because when we keep ignoring all of these small wins, we lose sight of the gratitude that we are meant to show and lose sight of the fact that we are actually growing. So don't ignore your small wins. They count too, all right? So moving on to the next lesson. The next lesson that I've learned so far in my 28 years of life is the sun is also a medicine. You know, I heard this one time in secondary school, I think, or primary school, but I actually didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. But this year, it made a lot of sense to me because majority of us are trapped in this social media world where you've locked yourself up in our rooms, in our houses, going through and scrolling through the social media. We rarely come out these days to actually feel the warmth of the sun, to touch the grass, to feel nature, to feel the quiet of the environment, alright, the serenity that nature brings. It is okay to sometimes just drop your phone, sign out of the social media, come out, touch grass, let the sun touch you a little bit, feel the grass, feel nature, feel the air, feel the breeze. 5 minutes, it's not so much. It's not so much to reconnect with nature. Trust me, the sun is a medicine on its own. All right. Next lesson I've learned so far is that medication is a tool, not a failure. The truth is that sometimes, most times, your brain, your body needs help to balance itself. All right. Before now, that's like 3 years ago, I had a body check and I was diagnosed with blood pressure, like high blood pressure, but I ignored it, right? And the doctor then recommended me resting and all of those things and do what I meant to do. So I would be good. I didn't pay so much attention to it. And I've always had this notion that I can't take drugs. That's medication that will make you addicted. They're going to ruin your health. They are not healthy and all of those things, right? Until this year, like, I don't know what happened to me this year. Maybe it was God who was telling me that I needed to rest because I've always been that girl that is on a go, 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 move, 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 not taking time to rest. I feel like this year is my year of God telling me rest, or to just rest because I don't know what would have happened if I didn't call myself back and actually relax, right? Because this year, was it around Augustish? I can't remember the exact months, but I was knocked down with a severe headache. I thought it was like the normal slight migraine I usually have, and like after resting, sleeping, I'm going to get myself back. But this headache persisted for like 3 weeks straight. It was heavy and intense. I thought, okay, maybe when I took paracetamol or something, it's going to subside. It didn't subside. I had to go to the hospital. I have never actually taken myself to the hospital because I genuinely didn't like anything hospital. Anything hospital brings me bad memories and the like, so I avoided them, right? But I saw myself going to the hospital to actually know what is going on. And after the checkup, the doctor was like, your blood pressure is high, it's like stage 2, stage 3 kind of stuff. It was intense. He was talking to me, asking me, did I know? I was like, I knew. Someone told me I did a test 3 years back and it was mentioned, but I thought it was not serious. He was like, this is serious. Your blood pressure is high. He mentioned some figures, which after doing some research, I realized that it was actually high, right? And he had to put me on the drugs. Like I started taking medications to let everything subside. And back then I couldn't sleep properly. He gave me medications. I'll be taking me sleep and everything, right? So 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, I started realizing that I was feeling calmer. The heart palpitations were subsiding. I was feeling more in tune with myself. I was more calm. Like I felt good. right? So a month passed, I went back to the hospital to check the pressures because I just couldn't, although he advised that I should be coming in every week or something, but I couldn't go to the hospital every week because I don't know, I just couldn't, right? So I went there a month after and he was like, oh, that's nice, my pressure's reduced, the drugs, they're working, I should just be consistent with them and actually taking the rest. So thinking it through when I go back, I realized that taking medications aren't bad after all. They are just things that we need to balance ourselves, to balance our health, given the rigorous way of life, always being on the move. Sometimes we don't eat the balanced diet that we are meant to do. We don't rest as we should and everything. So we overwork ourselves. So these medications are there to help us balance our health and actually live long. That's practically that action, that result it also gave changed my perspective and the way I saw drugs and medications, right? So I began taking the doctor's instruction very seriously, right? If I am meant to rest, I rest. If I'm meant to take drugs and medication, I take them, right? So this is also a call out to you that taking medications, visiting the hospital, especially if you're getting to your 20s, 30s, and like, you need to take your health seriously. Trust me, you need to take your health seriously. The next lesson I've learned over time is that self care is not just for spa days. Self care is not just this that you take yourself out to the spa and treat yourself. No, self-care is the little things that you do for yourself. That moment you're taking to rest, all right, is self-care. That intentionality that you take in taking your bath, taking care of yourself, eating the right set of food, drinking water, sleeping when you should. They are all self-care, building yourself mentally, reading books, touching grass, they are all self-care. Taking time away from the social media, especially for eye strains and the rest, they are all self-care because it looks like most times we see this self-care thing as a big word of buying skincare or going to spas, and we end up ignoring the little things that also count as self-care and end up ruining our health or ourself. All right. So self-care also counts as those little things that you do to care for yourself, health-wise, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially. They are all self-care. All right. Self-care is not a big word. It is the little things that we do to care for ourselves. All right. Lesson I've learned so far in my 28 years of life is that being done is better than perfection. All right. So I saw a quote somewhere that progress always supersedes perfection every time. So yes, true. That is very true. We try so much to be perfect that we burn ourselves out and we stress ourselves. People want to see the messy beginnings too. People want to see all of those things, the feeling, the things that you do to actualize what you're meant to do or get to the thing you're meant to do. People want to see the backstory. Everyone is faking this perfection so much that most people don't realize that there are also the little beginnings where the picture doesn't look perfect, that the pictures aren't perfect. All right, we are all humans. Trust me. Most times, people share their good side on the Instagram, on the social media, that you don't realize that if they show you the BTS, the behind the scenes of that, realize that you yourself, you are also on a good scale. All right, so don't beat yourself up if you're not. In fact, perfection is even fallacy. Perfection is not a thing. What matters is the fact that you're growing. Progress is what counts, not the perfection. Perfection can never be actualized. You can never be perfect in whatever you do because if you're claiming that you're perfect, what might be a thing today might not really be a thing tomorrow, which means you are growing, which means there is nothing like perfection because things are evolving every day. What you can't perfect today might not be perfect tomorrow. So everybody is evolving. Things are changing. So you just need to be in line with this that as far as you're showing up, as far as you're representing yourself, well, as far as you're coming out to do something, that is what matters. Progress over perfection. All right. So instead of beating yourself up to be perfect, why don't you put in more effort to just show up, ensure that you do something? That alone makes all the difference. All right. The next lesson I've learned so far in my journey of life is that consistency beats talent. Just like I mentioned earlier, just ensure that you are showing up. The act of showing up and doing what you're meant to do, by so doing, you are growing. You can have all the talents in the world. If you are not showing up, if you're not building yourself daily, that person that is building themselves daily, that person that is being consistent will end up being better than you that have talent. So it's not all about talent. What are you doing? Are you showing up? Are you building yourself? Are you growing? Are you evolving? Are you learning something new? All right. So don't beat yourself so much about talent. Don't beat yourself so much about perfection and everything. Just show up. Just be consistent. Just keep learning something new. All right. Comparison is the biggest way to quit. I mean, this is not hyped on well enough. Comparison is a thief of joy. All right. So instead of comparing yourself to someone, how about you just keep showing up for yourself? Keep doing what you're meant to do, and not bother yourself so much about someone else highlight or someone else's reel. You will be surprised if they tell you the backstory. All right. So trash all of those comparison with external person and compare yourself with yourself. Compare your today with your tomorrow. Compare your yesterday with your today. Just grow on your own lane. Trust me, this changes everything for you, both your mindset, your mood, your state of being, and everything. Okay. So the thing I've learned so far is that your story is your superpower. We don't hammer on this very much. What makes you unique is your unique story, because nobody can be you. There is this song that a popular artist sang that photocopy isn't easy, that you can never be like me because being me is my identity. You can only pretend to want to be like me, but eventually you get tired because that isn't you. What makes you unique, your unique strength is being you, your unique story. There is no two people that is the same. Even an identical twins have two different parts. They have two different stories. All right. So instead of trying to copy other people or do what other people are doing, even if you're getting inspiration from them, impute your uniqueness, which is your own story. That is what makes you different. That is what people are going to fall in love with. Your unique story, your uniqueness. All right. The algorithm loves persistency and honesty. Even in our work today, in your business, wherever it is maybe, everyone loves a persistent person and an honest person. In our world today, where it looks like everybody is claiming to be wise or wanting to be wise, where they lie here and there and everything. Being honest and being persistent in your craft, in your skill, is going to set you apart for greatness, right? The next lesson I've learned so far is that you shouldn't chase trend, chase resonance. This is so to say that you shouldn't be the person out to like jump into everything that is trending, and you would even ask yourself, is this something that my audience wants? Is this something that will resonate with my audience? All right. So instead of trying to jump into every trend, ask yourself, will my people, will my tribe, will my audience resonate with this kind of content? Will they resonate with this kind of trend? All right. Because it's not every trend that your people will vibe with. If it resonates with your people, well, all fine and good, you should up on it. If it doesn't, then please do things or follow the path that resonates with your people more. That is all I can say about that. The next lesson I've learned over time is that one true fan is much more better than 1,000 passive followers. Instead of beating yourself so much about the people that are not in your circle yet, how about to engage more with the people that truly cares about your content, that truly cares about your brand, that truly cares about your craft? All right, engage more in those people. Pour out the love that you can in those people. Engage with them more and build your craft. Okay, your time is the only resources you can't get back. And with this knowledge, you can't afford to spend it recklessly. So try as much as you can to spend it more on the things that you love, on the things that are going to build you, on the things that are in line and in tandem with the path that you're doing. You can't afford to waste your time. You just can't afford to. All right. So, lesson is that regrets, the regrets that you feel are usually from a place of inactions. That is those things that you didn't try. You rarely never regret those things that you tried. All right. So instead of always living in regrets, how about you do those things that you are meant to do so you will regret nothing? So that if you're meant to, maybe the rapture happens today, or you're wrapping up your stay on earth today, you're going to think things through, think about your life and be like, wow, I have no regrets, which means you tried all the things you're meant to do. You did all that you're meant to do, and you owe no balance. You owe no change. All right. So try as much as you can not to live in regret. Take those actions. Be bold. Be audacious enough to do the things you are meant to do without regrets. All right. So this next lesson is something that I hold dear to my heart. It's like my motto, right? Cinematography is just a fancy word of seeing the world differently. I feel like it's a line that you can apply to your whole life. Seeing the world differently, either with your craft, either with your skill, whatever it is you want to do. Apply this line of I want to use this to be unique in my world. I want to use this to see the world differently. I want to use it to push out my craft differently. That is being unique in everything you're doing. All right. Discipline protects your dream. Motivation won't. Motivation lingers for a while, but discipline is the best of the best. Discipline is what pushes you to wake up. Discipline is what pushes you to do the things that you are meant to do. Discipline. All right. You don't want to ignore this and tilt towards motivation. Motivation is good, but it's for a while discipline is the main deal. The next lesson I've learned so far in my journey of life is that the best mentor you can ever have is someone that is one step ahead of you, someone that have walked through the path that you are trying to walk through, not someone that is behind you or someone that you're even above. Mentorship should be someone that you can learn from because they have told that path. All right. So always see everyone that has gone ahead of you in your career path, in the place or the path that you're trying to do as a mentor that you can learn something from. There is always something to learn from someone. There is always something to learn and experience, a skill, a word of wisdom, even a life lesson. So try as much as you can to keep your target close. Keep them close, all right? So instead of repeating those mistakes, how about you learn from their mistakes and be better? How about you learn from their word of wisdoms and be better? Okay, so moving on to the 27th. This is the 27th, right? The 27th lesson that I've learned from my 28 years of life so far. Forgiveness is for you, not for them. All right. So it is a good time for you to let go of the dead weight, let go of the past, and move on. All right. There is this popular story about a man that has refused to forgive, not realizing that he locked himself up in a cage and held the key, feeling like he locked someone else up, not knowing that he locked himself. All right. So instead of carrying that dead with that negative energy and be injuring yourself, how about you let it go? Let it go, free yourself and move on. All right, because even in the Bible, you can only gain forgiveness from God and walk with God when you are at peace with your neighbors, when you have forgiven those that trespass against you. All right, it might be difficult, but it is something I feel like when you pay more attention to, when you are more intentional with, it will come in easily by the grace of God. Learn to let go, learn to forgive. The last but not the least lesson that I've learned so far in my 28 years of life. You are your own home. You must never lose myself. I lost myself to depression for 4 years. 4 tangible, valuable years that I should have used for something better. I let myself go overwhelmed and slip into the path that I wasn't slip into. All right. So try as much as you can to find happiness in yourself. Find happiness in the little things. So I'm just on my path on building a life that I love living, a life that I'll call a home, a life that I'll find joy and happiness in. So these 28 lessons that I've shared about my pain, my mistakes, my lessons, my path and everything isn't to gain sympathy. No, I am way above that. I genuinely don't want that. It is just something that I felt like I needed to share because there might be someone out there that is going through these that I've gone through, that might need this word of encouragement, that might want to learn one or two or pick one or two from this. So this is me encouraging you today that I see you. I know that you might have gone through this, but you're not alone. Trust me, there are thousands of people out there that might have gone through whatever, but it kept going. All right. This is not a means to say that your feelings aren't legit. They are legit. It is okay to feel them. It is okay to cry when need be, but don't wrap your life around the negative energy. Don't wrap your life or make yourself feel like you're alone. You're not alone. Christ is with you. God is with you. Just keep going. Find your happiness back. Let go the negativity and just keep going. All right. All right. There is always a path for you to tow, and definitely, yes, you will find your happiness back. I lost my dad first when I was like 13. I lost my mom when I was like 17. I lost my sister when I was like 20. I can't remember the exact age, but I think this was around um 2022, 2021 age, right? In all honesty, at every time this happens, I got broken, but I told myself that never, I won't be going back to the deep path that I was or that I used to be. I would just have to like pick myself up and keep going, because one thing I know is that my generation is waiting for me. They have done their own part here on earth and they have gone, right? So it's like a lesson that I need to like learn from, find happiness in the things that I do, find happiness in myself and keep going. All right. It's not as easy as it sounds, but try as much as you can to encourage yourself, affirm yourself, work with God, work with the right set of people, work with the right association, build yourself, read the right set of books, watch the right movies, the right podcast, do and work with things that are meant and that is going to build you positively. And trust me, with all of this, little effort and actions, the difference will be clear. And I believe that when you do this, you'll be better off. You will handle the situation better than I did, because growing up, I didn't handle my own situation properly. It took me a while to handle this. It took me a while to address it, and I ended up losing some tangible years of my life to things that didn't make sense, right? But I'm also working with God now, trying as much as I can to regain those years for restoration and walking your life with the path that God has destined for me. So yes, you can find your happiness back. So yes, you can pick one or two lessons from the lessons, from the 28 lessons that I've shared, and be on your own good path. Yes, you can do this too. What is your action that I feel like you can do with this lesson? You can pick one or two lessons from this video and focus on them for 28 days. Trust me, this is going to be an eye opener, or should I call it a narrative changer for you. And if there are any of these lessons that you have been working on so far, please do well to let me know in the comment section. Trust me, I would want to learn from you if you've gone through this part, or if there are also lessons that you might think that I would need to learn from, or even others would need to learn from. Do well to share it in the comment section. Thank you so much for being part of my journey this year. Like, I genuinely appreciate you. You don't know how much you mean to me. And I can't wait to see what next year holds for us. All right. So I'll be seeing you on my next one. And until then, please do take care of yourself. To this.